The woman comes to the ATM, she kicks it, then picks up the money from the ATM and puts it in her backpack. On the way back home, she meets some bastard. They try to take liberties with her. Wendy sneers at them. "Don't be a slick talker, come to me if you dare." One of the bald heads feels unhappy, he comes and drags Wendy on the ground. But he's immediately suppressed by Wendy. The guy who comes up to help the bald head is given a slap, which makes him flies 20 meters away. Then she hurls another guy into the air for 30 meters. That scene terribly frightened the remaining guy. A few days ago, Wendy is still a restaurant's waiter. Every day, she has to work very hard and it lasts for 5 years. Her boss is tart and mean, she has been reluctant to promote Wendy. Wendy's boss always asks her to work overtime and clean up before leaving. When she goes out to throw the garbage away, she sees someone park the car in handicapped parking space. Wendy comes over and reminds them of that, but the people in the car are very arrogant. They don't want to talk to her at all. When she's throwing the garbage, there's a homeless who begs for food. Wendy says maybe there's something to eat, let me find it for you. At this time, her boss rushes out and shouts abuse, then she tells the homeless to get out of here. But Wendy is a kind-hearted woman, she doesn't drive the homeless away because of her boss. Instead, she takes out some food and gives it to the homeless. But at this time, the homeless just says something inexplicable. "You're one of us," she feels confused and doesn't know what the homeless is talking about. "I just give you something to eat, you don't have to praise me like that." On the way back home, Wendy feels like there's someone who follows her. She hits the stalker. It turned out to be the homeless. He asks Wendy, "How long have you been taking those blue medicines?" Wendy thinks that this person is crazy for sure. She turns around and wants to go. But the homeless doesn't let her off. He says that Wendy's superpower is suppressed by those medicines. As long as you stop taking medicines, your superpower will be restored immediately. The homeless wants to show Wendy his superpower. He climbs over the railing, stretches his both arms and jumps down. She quickly comes up and looks over. Unexpectedly, a passing truck runs into him. He's done for sure. She quickly calls the police and left here. Totally unexpected, the next day, the homeless who suffered no loss come to meet Wendy again. That totally scares Wendy. It seems that what the homeless said is the truth. He asks Wendy, "Do you want to know what your superpower is?" "Let's stop taking the medicines." In this way, she stops taking the medicines. Just a few hours later, her heart speeds up and the whole body is hot. It feels like there's a burst of energy which can be set out at any time. The next day, Wendy works absent-mindedly. She accidentally drops the food on the ground. Angry Wendy directly bends the plate, she wants to fix it. After a while, she completely bends the plate. Unexpectedly, this incident is discovered by her boss. She heavily scolds Wendy and wants to deduct her salary. Wendy lifts her boss up. "What do you want? Do you believe that I will kill you right away?" This kid is being teased by other kids. The long-hair boy comes over and pretends to kick the ball. That little boy is terribly frightened. At this time, Wendy, who is the little boy's mother, comes over and scolds the children. The long-hair boy talks to Wendy. "What can you do to us?" Wendy looks at some bikes nearby. Facing the shocked eyes of several children, she destroys the bikes. The boy says that he will go home and tell his father. Wendy talks to him. "If your father comes here, he will have the same end with you." She goes home and plays football with her son. Because the strength is not well controlled, she kicks the ball into the air for several kilometers. On the way to the restaurant, Wendy sees someone park the car in handicapped parking space again. She immediately pushes the car aside. That makes the car's owner stunned. Wendy only uses one hand to work. Because of the previous suppressing by force, her boss now is so well behaved. She directly gives Wendy a promotion and a pay rise. After gets off work, she finds the homeless and wants to know more. It turns out that there are many people who have superpowers like them. The vast majority are taken away and they have to take medicines every day. They are locked up in a psychiatric hospital. Wendy is curious to come to the psychiatric hospital to find out more information. The first time she was blocked by the glass door, but the second time she successfully entered. She finds out information of everyone who has the superpower. She finds out that her colleague Elmer also has powers. That makes Wendy shocked. She comes and meets Elmer in the middle of the night. She reminds him not to take medicines anymore. "In fact, we're all the freaks." Elmer is so obedient, he immediately stops taking medicines. Elmer is also a luckless person. His mother died early, his father relies on being rich, he married a beautiful black woman. His stepmother's always unpleasant with him. She even often speaks ill of him in front of his father. After stop taking medicine, Elmer awakens his lightning power. He shows off his power to her. Because of shortage of money, she takes Elmer to in front of the ATM, she kicks it, then picks up the money from the ATM and puts it in her backpack. After finishing, they don't go home, but go to the bar. At this time, a fierce conflict erupted between them and the hooligan. Wendy led him to the toilet and beat them there. After coming back home, she lies her husband. She says she makes a lot of money by working overtime, then gives the money to her husband. Wendy quickly takes Elmer to find the homeless. They all have a common goal. Just go to the hospital to rescue the people who also have powers like them. Because the homeless was locked in the hospital before, he knows everything inside. They are found by the security as soon as they enter. Wendy pushes the cart towards the security. The bullet accidentally hit the homeless, but he's unharmed. Finally, they are surrounded by the security. At this time, Elmer exerts his power and beats all of the security. Although he saved some people, Wendy and the homeless think that Elmer is too cruel. There's no need to kill them all. This isn't what we want to do. The homeless offers to withdraw from the alliance. Wendy also wants to withdraw. When she comes back home, her husband interrogates her. What did you do? What did you do? Your colleague said that you didn't work overtime. How? Did you heal the world? Wendy doesn't want to explain. They've had a quarrel. In order to make an apology, Wendy's husband organizes a family gathering. It's a pity that Elmer is a scheming person. He reveals the location of the homeless. After that, the homeless is arrested. After that, he comes to Wendy's house. He says that he wants to be together with her, because it's what comics draw. Wendy refuses him and tells him to go. Unexpectedly, Wendy's husband sees everything. He angrily interrogates his wife. She confesses everything, but it doesn't work. No one believes it. Do you think I'm stupid? Then Wendy's husband is hurled for 5 meters. Wendy decides to find Elmer, let him help her to explain. All she saw was that Elmer completely killed her father. Wendy quickly comes over and examines. He thinks that Wendy figured it out, but unfortunately not. It looks like we have to do it the hard way. He directly electrocutes Wendy. When she wakes up, she's already in the hospital. The doctor has been waiting for a long time. She resolutely wants to control Wendy's power. Because when she was young, the principal criticizes her. She killed the school principal. So Wendy starts taking medicines. That makes her power gradually disappeared. At this time, Elmer also comes to meet her. Hope she will change her mind. But she still turns him down. He angrily cut off the power supplies. He kidnapped Wendy's husband and son. At this time, all the doors of the hospital opened automatically. Wendy quickly goes back, but she is stopped by the doctor. She fires a few shots at the homeless. The homeless who doesn't have power dies instantly. Now he threatens Wendy with her son. If you're not together with me, the consequences will be very serious. Her son's life is not joking matter. Wendy decides to fight him desperately. It's a pity that Wendy lost her power and couldn't beat him. But Wendy, who was hit by the electric current, restored her power. She puts on rubber gloves. She punches Elmer into the pool. He is electrocuted by his own electric current. After her husband is safe, he thoroughly understands his wife's difficulties. Let her escape quickly. She looks at her family, then disappears into the night. At this time, the doctor shows up with the special forces, and takes away Elmer's body. 3 months later, Wendy shows up again. This time she's not alone. There's no villain in the movie. Even the female doctor who forces others to take medicines isn't a villain. She just helps others to suppress their power. She will not control those people if they don't do bad things. On the contrary, the greater the power of freaks is, the greater wild ambition is. If the weak have superpower, they will be insane to avenge. Superpower turns a harmless person into wanton slaughter. Turn the oppressed into the oppressor. This great transformation makes people thought-provoking. Follow me if you like it. Thank you.